This conference will now be recorded.
So, can anybody explain me what is financial modeling is? I think everybody are from commerce background. Is there anyone else from apart from this stream?
I'm from economics, ma'am.
Sorry?
I'm from economics.
Okay, you are from economics. Okay, apart from it?
Ma'am, I'm from data science and analytics, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So rest of us, everybody are from commerce background. Okay, can anybody explain me if you have some any idea about what is data financial modeling is? So whatever you know, it is not that you should be correct in answering or something. You must be having some idea what it is all about.
Ma'am, as far as I know, I think financial modeling is basically taking past records over a long period of time of a company's operations and all the other workings, and then you come to a future valuation of the company or prediction.
Yeah, very good. So exactly correct. So, when I'm talking about financial modeling, it is a process of estimating the financial performance of a project or business by taking into account all relevant factors, the growth and risk assumptions, and interpreting their impact. So, if I am going to purchase a business, buy a business, or if I'm going to start up with a new business, so what is the thing that I need to consider? So what are the factors that I need to concentrate on? What is the growth factor and what is the risk that I can assume in the upcoming 5 years and how I can overcome it? So all those things in the calculations, how I'm going to put it into format. So that is financial modeling. It enables the user to acquire a concise knowledge of all the variables involved in the financial forecasting. So that is future predictions. So if I'm going to start up with the business after 5 years, so where the business is going to stand, so how I'm going to make the profit as per the ratio. So all those things we are going to learn in financial modeling. So I wanted you people to make a note of it.
Ma'am, I had a doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Will these classes be recorded and will we get the links to
Yes,
the
yes. So the
videos?
recordings will be shared to you. I have put it on
Okay, ma'am.
record. The recordings will be shared to you tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Now, when I'm talking about data, so what is data? What is data when I'm talking about a company or a business? Here, data is nothing but the past history of the company. So if I'm going to own a business which is already ongoing, so I will just look at the past history, how the business was going on, what is the status of the business, where they stand, what is the profit they have made in the last 5 years. So based on that calculations, I can calculate for my future also, if I own that business which is already going on, which is in a success, which is a successful business. So if I pre-own that, if I own that business in the 5 years, what will be the status of that business? Will I be able to make sufficient profit out of it? So all those things. So data is nothing but the past history of a company. Okay. So next, here I have certain situation scenarios. I wanted you people to explain it. Hi, I am Mehul. I want to start a franchisee of Tata Motors. Shall I invest rupees 10 crore into it? So just consider yourself into this situation and tell me whether you would invest 10 crore rupees in Tata Motors to start the franchisee. If you are going to start up with the business, if you are going to buy the franchisee, why? If not, why? If I'm going to buy the franchisee of Tata Motors, would I go about it? If you were there in that situation, can we make the investment in Tata Motors?
Ma'am, you would have to evaluate the progress of Tata Motors in the future in order to in order to decide now whether we should invest in it or not.
Yes, very good. So we already know Tata Motors. So where do they stand in the business? So when I'm talking about Tata Motors, I know the past history of that business. So definitely I would tell that yes, I can invest 10 crore rupees by taking the franchisee of Tata Motors. So next situation, we want to bid for National Highway Pune Mumbai project. Is it feasible to bid for it at rupees 1000 crores? So here I am talking about the government sector where I have to bid. That is, I have to buy the contract. So for that, where I have to bid means what are the things that I should keep in mind? Can anybody answer? So you wanted to own the contract in constructing the national highway Mumbai project. So if you have to bid, if you have to rate the quotation, on what basis you are going to rate the quotation? You have to make the estimation. So when I'm talking about bidding a contract, so there it will be like in the government sectors, the lowest one which is going to be in cheaper, they are going to call for the contract. So when my estimation is at the lowest cost, then just imagine if I'm going for the lowest terms means I have to give the quality assurance also. So in order to do that, I should have a proper knowledge about the construction things and all. So where I'm going to buy the materials, how I'm going to spend, what are the things that I have to concentrate. So based on all those things, I have to make the sufficient profit also. So in this aspects, if we see, the calculation should be in such a way that we should be in the profit, as well as by giving the quality also. So bidding is nothing but you have to estimate in the lower cost by giving the quality assurance. Okay. Next one is, one of my client wants to invest in capital markets. Can I buy share of Reliance at rupees 600 rupees? So here we are talking about equity shares. So share markets, I hope everybody are aware of it. So if I am going to make an investment in share markets, so blindly am I going to make any investment, or there are any precautions that I'm going to take care about?
Reliance has always had a stable market reputation. And other than that, we also have to look into the fluctuations Reliance has had in the stock market regarding the shares and the share prices. So,
Yes.
according to the consistency or inconsistency, whatever it is, would have to decide whether it would be worth it to buy Reliance shares.
Yes, very good. So here it is clearly telling that we have to concentrate more on the past history of the share markets. What are the fluctuations that is happening in the share market? So how very frequently they have seen the profit, when and all there was a downfall. So based on all those things, I can tell that whether if I'm buying a share market of Reliance currently, so am I going to make the profit immediately, or I need to hold the stocks for few while, like 1 or 2 months, then I'll be able to make the profit. So all those things I can calculate only when I verify the past history of that shares. Next, how much amount shall we pay to acquire DLF Infra? So this is about merging and acquiring the company. So you people must be aware of it. So if I have to acquire, so what are the things that I'm going to concentrate?
Sales and profits.
So in what all conditions we are going to acquire any business?
That the
So if you can give me
business,
some examples.
I guess if the business is at least in break even or in profit zone and is not like it's not going downhill. So when you know the business will give you the returns. Otherwise, there's no point in buying the business if it's going to cost you more to run the business than the profits you gain.
Yes, very good. So can you give me some example, ma? Any business which have been acquired, any other business currently at current scenarios, where you can tell that yes, this business has acquired this ongoing business. Well, I wanted you people to check out and tell me, is there any such business? Because this is about the current affairs which you should be having the knowledge about. Okay, so I will give you the time. Tomorrow you people can tell me some example of companies which have been acquired by the other company, like in the current scenario. Okay. So when I'm talking about making the investment, or bidding any contract, or if I'm going to buy any stock, or if I'm going to acquire any business or something, there are certain things which I have to keep in mind. So financial modeling is either building a model from scratch or maintaining the existing model by implementing newly available data of it. So either I'm going to start the business from the scratch, or I'm going to acquire any ongoing business. So when this is coming, means in order to initialize anything, I need to know whether if I'm acquiring the business or I'm going to start a business from the scratch, how this business is going to be in another 5 years. As you can notice, all the above financial situations are also complex and volatile by nature. So, this all are different scenarios wherein we are coming across the future predictions only. It helps the user to gain an in-depth understanding of all the components of a complex scenario. So when I'm making a study about the past history of a company, so I'm going to get more knowledge about it. So what are the things I need to concentrate, or what are the things I need to develop in order to make the business click? So if I'm acquiring any business which is going in loss, how I'm going to make it into profitable? All those things are going to come into consideration. It is used to forecast the potential future financial performance of a company by making relevant assumptions. So in order to make the assumption for the upcoming future 5 years, I need to know the past history also. Or if I'm going to start a business from the scratch, what are the things that I need to concentrate in order to make the profit? So specific project is expected to perform in the forthcoming years. For instance, how much cash flow a project is likely to produce within 5 years from its initiation. So as I'm starting the business from this current year, for the upcoming 5 years, where the business is going to stand, in order to make it successful and profitable, what are the things that I need to concentrate? So what are the things that I need to bring changes in the business? So all those things we will be doing it in financial modeling. So uses of financial modeling. So when I'm using financial modeling, what are the things that I'm going to get it from? So valuation of a company, so where the business stands, so either the business is profitable or what it is. Valuation of assets of a company, mergers and acquisitions, option pricing, budgeting and forecasting, capital allocations, raising capital, and what are the risk management that I need to take care of when I'm going to start a business or acquire the business. So when I'm using financial modeling, I'm going to learn all those aspects. So representative of any entity's financial statement and accounts. So when I'm talking about past history of a company, what are the things that I'm going to concentrate? So when I'm talking about the past history of a company, here I'm talking about financial statements of the company, which include balance sheet, other inputs and assumptions, and physical measures. So these are the things which are going to come into picture, based on which I'm going to see the forthcoming years how the business is going to be successful. Okay, so this provides the useful analysis for decision makers. Financial modeling is just a decision support tool. So from using financial modeling, I'll be able to analyze about the business, how it is going to be successful. Okay, so you can make the note of important point from this. So from tomorrow onwards, whatever we'll be solving, that is practical things and all, I'll be sharing it in the group, so you people can download it and work along with me. So 5 reasons why you need to build a financial model for your startup. So if I'm starting up a new business, why do I need a financial model? So to be successful entrepreneurs and to startup founders, we need to have the analytical lens. It is a framework for thinking through business objectives, critical manner, and construct number around each assumption. So analytical lens means, so what are the critical things that I'm going to face? What are the objectives that I need to concentrate? So all those things I can frame an assumption about it. So operating the roadmap, a model by its nature, the chronological way of laying out what you expect to happen and when and what it will cost in a very granular manner. So you can predict. So what are the things I need to do, when it has to be set up, all those things and all. Risk assessment. So I can predict the risk that I'm going to uh, face in my business. So risk assumptions can be done. Scenario exploration. Models allow for multiple analysis. For example, what happens going to give 10% of discount, so how it is going to bring an impact on my business, or how much extra money will we need to raise if sales take a but in order to make the profit 10% discount, how it is going to be working. So or what do margins look like if we hire a direct sales team versus recruiting a network of affiliates. So these things and all will get to know. Pitch and sales tool. Last but not least, models are a great way to bolster your pitch to investors, lenders, and strategic partners. At its most basic, the model explains how much money you need and how much will make for the investors or partners. So by this, when you are creating a financial model, you'll get an idea about how much investment has to be done, or if I wanted to give it for the investors or to my partners, how it is going to work out. So these things and all is going to be helpful for us when I'm talking about a startup business. So useful uses of model. So to value a business activity, helpful in planning the situations. So return on money invested in the project, when the project will reach the cash positivity break even points. If returns is 0%, then what would cost the business activities, how long project can survive without further investments. So all those things we'll get to know. Helps to examine the financial and physical scenarios based on productivity, performance measurements, expansion, and new captivity building up. So those things and all can be done using the model. So there are four basic things that I need to concentrate on when I'm preparing the financial model. So I'm talking about, the first thing is historical information about the company. So where I'm going to take the details related to the balance sheet, income statement, cash flows, and debt service of the company. So based on this historical information, I'm going to analyze the relationship, make the assumptions, where I'll be able to analyze the growth rates, operating margins, new business, and refinancing. So after analyzing the relationship, I'll be able to make the project based on the sales, cost, and other, where I will get to know the revenues, cost of goods sold, operating margins, debt services. So when I'm able to do all those three procedures, the forthcoming thing is develop complete financial and analysis. So in the upcoming 5 years, I'll be able to analyze my balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, monthly and weekly if needed, and industry and ratio analysis. So by the end of the fifth year, I'll get to know whether my business, if I'm going to start up with a business, new business, or acquire any ongoing business. So what will be the ratio analysis? So in the percentage, so internal rate of interest, I'll get to know how much percentage of profit I'll be able to make if I'm going to invest this much of amount, and by maintaining the other things in a proper calculations and all. So you people can make a note of this important points as well.
Ma'am, can you show the previous slide once? Excuse me, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, okay, done. Ma'am, you can show the next slide.
The next one.
Yeah, ma'am.
Ma'am, would you be sharing this PPT with us?
Yes, ma. So before the end of the sessions, I'll be sharing the PPTs. Practical notes day to day I'll be sharing, but the PPTs related to the notes I'll be sharing it in the last. Shall we go to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Financial modeling. Budget model, forecasting model, and option pricing model. So these are some model.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking a lot and the presentation cannot be seen.
So merger model. A merger model is an information intensive tool. It is based on the several assumptions and tailored to incorporate the specific characteristics of a subject companies to provide us the realistic results as possible. So merger model is nothing but acquiring an ongoing business or merging the ongoing business. So a merger model can be considered as a feasibility study that is carried out beforehand to ensure the success of the amalgamation. So based on certain things and all, I'll be planning accordingly if I'm going to acquire a business or if I'm going to merge another business with mine, how it is going to work out, will it will be helpful for my business growth. So all those things it will be given with the clarity. So initial public offering IPO model. An initial public offering IPO is the process by which a privately owned enterprise is transformed into a public company. So pre-owned enterprises, that is a single ownership business, is converted into a public company whose shares are traded on stock exchange. This process is sometimes referred to as going public. After a private company becomes a public company, it is owned by the shareholders who purchases its stocks. So that is initial public offerings. Means my company is a public limited company where I'm going to sell the stocks of the company in order to run the business. Leveraged buyout model, that is LBO model. The leveraged buyout is a transaction where a company is acquired using the debt as the main source of consideration. So if I'm going to acquire a business, that is due to the debt I'm going to buy that company. So this transaction typically occur when a private equity, that is private equity firm, borrows as much as they can from a variety of lenders up to 70 to 80% of purchase price and funds the balance with their own equity. So that is called as leveraged buyout model. Consolidation model. The consolidation model belongs to reporting model category of financial models. It includes several business units added into one single model for financial modeling and further analysis. Typically, each business unit is used in its own tab with consolidation tabs that simplify sums up the other business units. It is similar to a sum of parts exercise where division A and division B are added together and a new consolidated worksheet is created. So consolidation model. The model is being created on two different models using which I'm going to create a new consolidated model. Next is budget model. A budget model is used to do financial modeling in financial planning and analysis to get the budget together for the next few years, typically in the range of 1, 3, and 5 years. So usually if I am calculating the forthcoming years means I'll be doing it for 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. Budget financial models are meant to be based on monthly, quarterly figures and rely strongly on the income statements. So based on the income statements, I'll be able to mention the financial things. Forecasting model, similar to the budget model, the forecasting model is also used in uh, FP&A to come with the forecast that compares the budget model. Since it is similar to the forecasting model, it also belongs to reporting model category or financial models. Option pricing model. As the name suggests, this model is a part of pricing model category and financial models. Binomial tree and Black-Scholes are the two main option pricing financial models and are based purely on mathematical financial modeling. So based on the calculations, I'm going to create this model rather than specific standards, and therefore are an upfront calculator built into Excel. So using the Excel, I'm going to do the calculation based on the past history. I'm going to calculate the future. So here we finished the introduction to financial modeling. So now whatever the practical, whatever the case study that we are going to solve, it will be done using Excel. So here we will be having an Excel introduction and few things what and all we need to have the knowledge on Excel. So those things we'll be doing it, and then followed up with the financial statements. We'll be doing like cash flow statement, balance sheet, and income statement, and then followed up with the case studies. Okay, so as and when we are starting with the practical things, tomorrow onwards I'll be sharing the notes to you. So any doubts still here, girls? So I'll be sharing. Like, you people need it tomorrow only, or I will share it in the last.
Ma'am, can you share it today at the end of the class?
By the end of the class or tomorrow morning, I'll share it so that you people can go through the different types of financial modelings and all whatever I explained. So here we'll be having a small introduction about what is Excel, why do we need Excel, so how it is going to be helpful for us. So all those things we'll learn about Excel, and then we'll be carried on with the financial modeling. So here when we are talking about MS Excel, so it is a software program produced by Microsoft company that allows the user to organize, format the data, and calculate the data using the formulas and functions, which will be done using the spreadsheet system. So Excel is one of the best spreadsheet application available for processing several enhanced spreadsheet features. So when I'm talking about calculation, as I just discussed, so calculation is performed using the functions and formulas in Excel. So functions are nothing but system defined or predefined, and formulas are user defined, which can be manipulated according to the users. So predefined means which are inbuilt. So functions are nothing but the inbuilt things, syntax. So in math, what we call formulas, here we call it as functions. And formulas, when I'm merging, like I am manipulating 2 to 3 different types of functions together, and trying to get the output as per my requirement. So when I'm playing around or manipulating with the functions, then it is called as formulas. Spreadsheet helps us simplify and analyze complex data, and we can organize the data into the form of graphs and charts, and we can do the sorting, filtering on huge data range also. Like if I don't want the output to be in the numerical format or any other thing, but it has to be represented in the graphical or chart form, I can definitely do it. And furthermore, on that charts and graphs, I can apply the sorting and filtering also. And here I can do the generate the reports, where furthermore I can do the analyzations and interpreting the reports. It can be related to the students, it can be related to the employees, products, or anything. So when I'm talking about data types in Excel, so there are 4 main data types in Excel. First one is text. It is nothing but the alphabets, number, and then we have the logical. Logical is nothing but the true or false, which are called as booleans in Excel. Usually has the product of test of comparison. So most of the time I'll be getting 60 to 70% functions are going to give the output in the form of true or false. Based on certain things, by manipulating those functions, I can get the output as per my requirements. So error is knowing the different error values can help you understand how to resolve different mistakes. So in Excel we'll be getting different types of errors. If I am able to identify the errors, so easily I can rectify the mistakes, and I can get the appropriate information as well. So let's look at the Excel interface. In order to start the Excel, so I'll go to start. From here I'm going to type in Excel. So let's understand the Excel interface. So this is the Excel interface. So here we have the quick access toolbar. So quick access toolbar means very frequently any tools that I am going to use. So it is not whatever the tools are available, I am going to make it available. So here I'm going to type in Excel. use of all of those things. So any particular task is very important. The tools will get added. In order to remove, I'll click on the drop down. I'll go to more commands. I'll just select whichever I do want. I wanted to remove redo. I wanted to remove conditional formatting. Now I wanted only save, undo and email. So I'll click on OK. So you can see save, undo and email is left out over there. And then we have the title bar. So title bar consists of the title of the file, means the file name will be there. Excuse me girls, 1 second. So whatever the file name I give, so that file name is going to appear in the title bar. So till then it is going to be as book, the default file name. So book is nothing but the default file name in Excel. And then we have the close button, we have the restore down, and then we have the minimize button. And if I wanted to hide the ribbon bar, so by clicking on this, so I'll click on auto hide the ribbon. Your ribbon will get hidden. In order to show the ribbon, I'll click here and show tabs and commands. I'll get back this. Then we have the tabs. So this is called as menu bar. Menu bar consists of file, home, in page layout, formulas, data, review, view, and help. Then each and every tab is going to have the ribbon. Ribbon consists of three things. So first one is cells editing. So this all are called as tools. And next is ribbons. Sorry, groups. And next is groups. And it consists of tools or commands. The small icons what you see here, these are called as tools. Or I can call it as dialog launcher. Means if you look at the font group, I have the font style, I have the font size, bold, italic, underline, all those things. So when I click on this dialog launcher, whatever the tools that are there in the group, so that will be explained detailedly, means exaggeratedly it will be explained over here. Like here you can see the font style, bold, italic, underline, the size, underline is there, colors are there. So all those things will be mentioned a little bit detailedly in the dialog launcher. And it is not mandatory that all the groups will be having the dialog launcher. So if you look at in the home tab, so clipboard is having the dialog launcher, font is having alignment, number. And if I come to insert tab, so chart is having the dialog launcher. When I come to page layout, page setup, scale to fit, sheet options, those things are having formulas. Nowhere I have the dialog launcher. So this shows that it is not mandatory that all the groups will be having the dialog launcher. Only in the required groups the dialog launcher will be available. Then we have the name box. So name box will show where is your active cell is. Active cell is nothing but, so let's look at the work area. So before we get into this active cell, so this small boxes what you see here, so these are in the form of tabulations. The small boxes are called as tabulation, which are set in the form of rows and in the form of columns. Rows are identified by numbers and columns are identified by alphabets. Okay. So wherein you can see, as I open in an A1 cell, so one cell is in bold bordered. So that is called as active cell. And where this active cell, that will be shown in your name box. So what is this A1 means? Where your A column and first row is meeting each other. That intersecting point is called as cell or cell address. So if I simply click here, I am in D column, 8th row. So D8, the cell address will be shown in the name box. When I click somewhere here, F11. So F11, So that is F column 11th row. So wherever I click, you can see the active cell. Where is your active cell? That will be displayed in your name box. And what is this active cell means? So wherever my active cell is, only there I can enter the data. Nowhere else I can enter the data. So it can be alphabets, numbers, or anything. Wherever your active cell is, there only I can enter the data, not anywhere else. Okay. So what is this formula bar? So whatever I'm inserting in the active cell, that will be reflected in your formula bar. So I have put NICT over here. You can see in the formula bar also it is showing as NICT. Here if I tell 1, 2, 3. So whatever I'm entering in the active cell, that will be shown in your formula bar. So if I am inserting any special characters, so it will be showing. So if I'm entering anything, either it is alphabet, either it is numericals or special characters, it will be shown in the formula bar. Now if I tell equals NICT, so you can see the same thing reflected in your formula bar. I'll just press enter. Now here it is showing as hashtag name question mark. When I come back here, it is showing the thing whatever I typed equals NICT, and in the active cell it is showing name error. So this is error. So what has happened here means, when I look at the formula, so when I'm entering anything without equals, so if I'm telling alphabets, if I'm talking about the numbers, or if I'm talking about any special characters, so Excel thinks it is a data and it shows as it is. But when I enter something along with equals, so then Excel considers that it has to give an output. For example, if I tell equals 2 plus 2, so this is a simple calculation. So when I press enter, you can see here it is showing the output, and whatever the calculation I put, whatever the question that I have written will be shown in your formula bar. Likewise, when I am giving equals NICT, so that means NICT doesn't belongs to any calculation, or it doesn't belongs to any function, or it doesn't belongs to any formulas. Means NICT, there is no sense in terms of the Excel. So when it couldn't identify what is NICT is, it is showing as an error. So if I tell, for example, equals 99 divided by some empty cell, enter. So this is an divisional error. So likewise, I'll be able to identify the mistakes that I'm going to make. So here why it is showing name means, here it is an alphabetical error. I'm giving NICT. So there is no such functions or formulas. So it is telling it is an alphabetical error. So when I'm talking about division, so I'm telling 99 divided by empty cell. So it is a divisional error. So like this it will reflect. So this is how the datas are taken into consideration. Okay, so understood with this. So if I look at the work area, how big the Excel work area is, so I'll put my cursor in A1, I'll press control and down arrow. So the last row is 10,48,576 row. I wanted to come back, control and up arrow, I'll come back to A1 cell. Now if I wanted to see how many number of columns are there, control and right arrow, the last column is XFD, that is 16,384 column. Control and right arrow, I'm going to come back to A1 cell. So now you saw how big the work area is. So my question will be, can I travel to any cell from my name box? So as I will tell MNO and I'll give 951. So you can see my cursor is in MNO 951. Now I'll come here, I'll tell XYZ 357. Okay. PQR 852. So PQR 852. Now I wanted to come back to A1 cell. I'm back to A1 cell. Now if I wanted to change this ABCD, as I told, it is 16,384 column. But here it is showing XFD. How would I know that it is 16,384 columns only? I'll just go to file. I'll go to more. options, and here I'll come to formulas, and I'll just check in this R1C1 and click on OK. So it is 16,384th column. Now I wanted back to ABCD. So why should I change it to alphabets? I can keep the numbers only because I am able to make out what is the column address is. So here in rows also we are mentioning in the terms of numbers. So here also we cannot keep it in numbers. So we will change it back. I'll go to file, more, options. I'll go to formulas, and I will remove this check-in on R1C1 reference style and click on OK. It will get back to the normal one. Then we have the vertical scroll, and then we have the horizontal scroll, and here we have sheet 1. So this is called a sheet layout, where we can keep on adding the sheets. How many number of sheets I can add here means I can add 255 sheets max. Okay, so from 2016 onwards, by default only one sheet will be available. In the previous or older version there were three sheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So now from 2016 only one sheet is there. By clicking on this plus, I can keep on adding the sheets. Like I can add up to 255 sheets, and then here we have the different types of view, and then we have the zoom bar. Okay, so this is about the Excel interface. So here the screen components. If you people have any doubts, you can ask. Just have a look. You people have understood the things on the screen. So hope you people have understood. There's no doubts, I believe. So here you can make a note of the important points related to Excel. So in extensions, we have different types of extensions in Excel. A normal Excel workbook has the extension .xls x from 2007 onwards. Previously, it was .xls. So what is this X shows means it shows the expandable. So wherein if I'm talking about the latest version, so if I'm creating a file in the latest version, the same file can be accessed in the older version also, but the upgraded tools whatever it is there in the latest version, that I cannot access in the older version. But my file will be supporting for both older and the latest version when there is X in the extension. If it is .xls, so imagine I'm creating the file in 2007 version in my office, so the file can be accessible only in that particular version only, no other versions it will support. So that shows the expansion in uh, by adding X. So if I am enabling macro in my workbook, then the extension should be .xlsm, where M stands for macros, and Excel binary workbook. So if I'm working on VBA, Visual Basic Analysis, sorry, then my extension will be .xlsb, where B stands for binary. Or if I'm creating any templates, so example, if I'm creating an invoice, so I wanted to store that invoice as a template, then I can store under the extension .xltx, where T stands for extend a template. Can just make a note of this also. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll be starting up with the practicals. First, we will have a glance about some of the tools that are there in Excel, and then we will be starting up with the financial statements. Just anybody can put in a reminder to me in the morning to share the notes.
These two PPTs, right, ma'am?
Sorry?
You will send the previous PPT on this PPT, right?
Yeah, previous PPT, this PPT, and Excel file. So where you can work along with me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And the functional keys in order to check the number of rows and columns. So next one is some of the important things, like what is an Excel workbook is, what is an Excel worksheet is, what is a cell, and what is a range in Excel. Just make a note of this too. So hope you people have taken down this. So just have a look at the financial modeling things. If you're having any doubts or anything, I'll explain it once again. Just have a look. So have a look, girls, if you're having any doubts. So tomorrow, just put in a reminder to me to share the practical notes and this one. So just go through it. If you are having any doubts, you can get it clarified.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
today I